Hi Blues, welcome back to BlueMoonRisingTV. Thanks for watching. Now, as you'll know, at the weekend, City got beat 5-1 against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Not the best result, obviously, but in all, actually, I wasn't too disappointed with the result. I think the first 45 minutes were one of the most entertaining 45 minutes I've seen all season, up there with probably Seville away. And obviously we gave a lot of young players a chance. We got for the first time to see, we threw them in the deep end, we saw how they played, some of them played really well. However, if you've gone anywhere near the internet, turned on the TV, looked at a newspaper today, you'll have seen that City have come in for an absolute hammering from the press. I'm going to go through each of the points that they've raised and tell them why they are basically nonsense. Rant mode's engaged. Let's get started with the first point. The first point is that Pellegrini doesn't care because he's gone in the summer. This was raised by Tom Bryant at The Guardian. The idea that Pellegrini, because he knows that he's getting taken over by Guardiola, will suddenly down tools is so ridiculous. I don't actually know where to start. I'm going to give it a go. If you, first of all, think that Pellegrini is the only person at Manchester City who decides the priority of different competitions for the club, then first of all, you do not know how Manchester City is run. That decision, and these decisions of this importance, are taken by at least 3 people, but conversations are probably happening all over the club. So you should do a little bit more research into how Manchester City is run. This is a well-oiled business, and if you think that one person can just make decisions at the drop of a hat like that, then you do not know anything about the team and the club. Secondly, if you think that Pellegrini is going to sabotage his last chance at Manchester City with such a strong team to win anything and to get some silverware, well, this is hugely disrespectful to the man. This is a big opportunity for Pellegrini to go out on a massive high, and it is, personally insulting to him to suggest otherwise. The next one is that Manchester City are devaluing the FA Cup. Now, the Daily Mirror today have been frothing at the mouth about Manchester City. They have said that we are the cup killers. Now, for years, Manchester City have had criticism because we've been buying players from abroad, we've not had many English players in the team, and sometimes that we've ruined English players' careers. Now, a bit of history to this. Manchester City, at the beginning of the project, we had to go out and buy some of the best players. We had to throw a bit of money around so that we could challenge for all the trophies going. And then once we did that, it makes City a more attractive option, and we wouldn't have to throw as much money around to get the best players in. That was a massive success. We've since won every trophy, every domestic trophy that we've been in for, so you can't complain about that. Now we're looking at more of a long-term strategy. We've got arguably the best footballing academy setup in the world at the moment. Now, on Sunday, we had 3 players from Manchester on that pitch together. We had Tosin Adarabioyo, Cameron Humphreys and Brandon Barker. So, mainstream media, which is it going to be? Are we ruining football by having too many old foreign players, or are we ruining football by having too many young Manchester players playing? It can't be both. Which one is it? The next point is that 3 days should be enough time to rest for the Champions League. This was brought up by Alan Shearer, among others, on the BBC. He said that if Messi, Neymar and Suarez only have 3 days to recover, why do Manchester City need more time? Well, Fabregas also said the same thing, by the way, because they played in the league, then played again away to PSG. Now, there's a big difference between the Manchester City players who are travelling on Monday to Kiev, by the way, going to Kiev, and Chelsea going to Paris Saint-Germain. They jump on a Eurostar and are probably there in less time than it takes City to get to somewhere like Sunderland for an away game in the league. So there's a big difference in travel time there and the sort of conditions that they're playing in. Secondly, fitness isn't the only issue. It's also injuries. City have been plagued by injuries this season. If we played someone like a Silva or an Aguero or a Company and any of them got injured, which, by the way, it's been known to happen, then our chances of getting through to the next round of the Champions League would have been seriously damaged. Pellegrini decided we haven't got enough players to risk, he's going to play the youth, he couldn't gamble, and I back him fully for that. Another point is that Manchester City shouldn't be prioritising the Champions League over the FA Cup. Well, for years now, English teams have not been getting as far as they should be getting in the Champions League in Europe. Not so long ago, we were dominating. We were getting, sometimes taking up all 3 or 4 spaces in the semi-finals. Now it's not the same. We're not getting to semi-finals. We're not getting to finals. So we are basically, people are complaining that we are a rung below the Barcelonas, the Bayerns, the Real Madrids. Now, Manchester City have probably the best ever chance of progressing into the quarter-finals. We've got Dynamo Kiev, which isn't a Barcelona. It's going to be a tough draw, don't get me wrong, but it's not Barcelona, it's not Real Madrid, it's not Bayern Munich. So now we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're in the best possible position to get through and capitalise on what is arguably our best chance ever. And people are complaining. What do you want? Do you want England to do well, or do you want us to not do well? You can't have it both ways again. The next point is that the City kids were out of their depth. Well, look, giving 5 kids their debuts against Chelsea away is never going to be ideal, but I would actually say that the ones who let us down the most were the senior players on Sunday. Caballero was flapping at shots. Demichelis gave away a penalty and he just wasn't up to the pace. I think that the kids gave a really good account of themselves. They were never going to win, I don't think, but hey, we got to 45 minutes at 1-1. And then it's experience really which shows in that second half. We just couldn't maintain that level of energy and their experience showed. But they got a lot of good experience out of it. Some of these players could be seen playing for their country and playing for England in the future, and they've got to start somewhere. I don't think they will have been demoralised yesterday. Anyway, they're those points that I just wanted to raise. Let me know what you think. This is a really contentious subject. We've seen the media hammer City for this. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Were City roasted by the press unfairly or fairly? Do you agree with them? Maybe you do. And subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you in a bit.